Thank you very much for your time.
Great pleasure.
Mr. Gray. I'd like to start by asking you what the term adaptive reuse means.
I think adaptive reuse is totally central to the way that we live today.
Many cities, London is a very good example, have a huge stock of existing buildings, many of them built at the end of the 19th century, the beginning of the 20th century. And I think with the increasing pressure on sustainability, on survival in this planet, we need all the time to be making the best use of what is already built. So the challenge, I think, today is to find ways of bringing new life to that building stock. This is particularly difficult when it comes to adapting existing buildings to meet higher and higher energy and sustainable standards. It's very disruptive to come in and convert buildings like the ones opposite. Very, very disruptive. You have to take all the tenants out or the owners out, redo the entire building. So we are looking as a practice at ways in which that disruption can be minimized to meet the same high standards, but to look at less invasive ways of converting and adapting existing buildings for the future.
Is there a contemporary building in London that you're personally fond of, that you would like to see one day, well, whether it's retained as heritage or whether it becomes...
Well, it's interesting you raise that. I mean, a favourite building of mine is the Festival Hall, which was built for the Festival of Britain in 1951. That building represents, I think, a truly public building. If you go and visit the Festival Hall after this discussion, you will find that it is crammed with people who are small start-up businesses or people who are studying and working and nothing to do with the events that take place in the hall. So you get this extraordinary rich mix of people coming for concerts, maybe coming to eat there, maybe just coming to have a drink and admiring the view, at the same time as a groups of people who are working or studying in the same space. So I think it genuinely fulfills the function of a public building. It's interesting, it's just had a refurbishment. They spent a lot of money, and I think it was very elegantly handled, and you are hard pressed to see many significant interventions into the original building. It's been very, very sensitively updated and converted. It's essentially the same building, and I think it's very important. It's a really good example. I mean, it isn't a wonderful concert hall. The acoustics are not that fantastic. It might have been a decision to take it down and build a new concert hall. It hasn't been taken down, it has survived, and that is totally about adaptive reuse. And you know, in another 50 years, it will need another major refurbishment, and maybe even at that point the function will change and maybe it becomes something else. But I think it is too easy to take buildings down, far too easy to take buildings down. And there have been some demolitions here in London which have been very painful as far as I'm concerned, and really good buildings have been demolished just because they were built at a time when the technical abilities for architects and engineers were far more challenging. The ability to solve heat gain through glass was virtually impossible. And now we have sophisticated glazing systems which handle that without any problem at all. So all that was needed was good adaptive reuse and remodeling the existing building, instead of which we've lost some great masterpieces. And that is very sad.
Thank you very much.
You were very efficient.
Thank you.
Thank you.